Today I'm going to do a video on, it's an instructional video on how to cut an Australian Labradoodle so that it still looks like an Australian Labradoodle. And I'm going to show an example of one of my guardian families just brought one of their dogs over today. And he just got a grooming yesterday. And so I'm going to start by showing you how not to cut a Labradoodle. I mean, and it's, nothing derogatory there. I just, love my Labradoodle. I like it to look like a Labradoodle, not just like a regular dog cut. So I'm going to show you how to kind of keep it doodle-ish. So yeah, without further ado, let me go ahead and actually I got to. This is my grooming table here. My daughter actually commandeered it with some of her toys. Let me. So anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and grab the how not to do it example. Okay, so we're back here with this is one of our Labradoodle males. His name is Zen, and this is the cut that he got yesterday at the groomer. You can see he's pretty naked, which I do like the naked cut on the back and the neck. I mean, this is a great summer cut, but you really they did a decent job on the tail. I'll say that. It's okay. He's okay. He's a little nervous out here on the table. Probably because he just got a grooming yesterday and they butchered him. Who's a good boy. He's a good boy. A little about me is I've been raising multi-gen Australian Labradoodles for almost 20 years now. I do all my own grooming and vaccinations and everything. But anyways, like I said, they were what I wanted to show is that they did leave his tail doodly, which I do. That's the cut I give. But the face, I mean, they cut his whole face away. So he just doesn't have that. All the hair's gone. All the hair's gone off of his ears, and I like the hair gone off the feet because it's summertime and there's a lot of foxtails out in the country where he lives, so he don't want to have he don't want to get foxtails. But I'm going to go ahead and take him inside, and I'm going to bring out our Doodle Star, who's going to be our model for today's haircut. And so anyways, any of you watching on our YouTube, this isn't going to fit into a short. I will put it on the short, but then I'll also repost the video as the full length video too. So if you want to go to the regular and see it, then you can see the full length video. Give us a like and a follow too while you're at it. Hold on, let me go get Twinkle Star. Okay, everybody. Before I actually bring the model out, Star here, I actually just wanted to show how simple the tools are here that we use to do grooming. And the grooming, the technique I'm going to show you today, it is a very basic cut that anybody can do. So it's not something, I don't get upset, groomers, that I'm, I don't want to be taking away business. But I'm going to show, it can be expensive to groom your dog on a regular basis. And I want to show you how to give it a cut that's a really basic cut. And it's easy to do and anybody could do it. It really just takes two simple tools. One is a nice buzzer. You do want to have a nice buzzer. I have a nice Andis 2. It's a super speed. It's an Andis 2 Pro. It costs about 150, 60 bucks, something like that. You don't want to cheap out on a buzzer because they'll go bad on you. And I've had this buzzer for probably 10 years and I'm sure I would use it probably a little bit more than the average person. So you buy this, probably lasts you a whole lifetime. It's well worth the investment. And you buy, just a nice pair of scissors. Sharp, nice and sharp, but blunt at the tip here. If I could show you the tip here. See, it's nice and blunt at the tip. There's no sharp edges that could actually poke a dog in the eye. So it's really that simple. So for an initial probably $25 on the pair, a really nice pair of scissors, maybe 30, I guess. It's been so long ago since I bought a new pair because these last so long. I just don't have to worry about it. 150 and 25 bucks. This thing for under $200 and you have a lifetime of grooming. I have a table just because it's a little bit easier on my back. You don't need to have a table, but I have a table just, again, for my back. So let me go get Star. Okay, everybody, so we're back, and our model here today is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. She's a good girl. I love you so. She's one, or actually our smallest Labradoodle that we've ever had. She lives here with us, and she's a sweetie. Anyway, so we got her on the table. I do recommend having a plastic bag, to throw the hair in clumps as you kind of go along because it will make quite a bit of a mess. What I really love about the cut that I'm going to show you here today and the way I maintain my doodles' hair is, you know, you really don't have to do a daily combing with the dogs. If you want to, you can. And if you want to have a longer coat and maintain a longer coat, you're going to need to do more maintenance, general, you know, weekly maintenance, run a comb through it once a week or twice. That said, you know, most doodles' hairs are a little bit curlier, so you really can't do a lot of combing on a regular basis when it gets longer. So you try to keep the hair a little bit shorter, and that's why a lot of people, you know, take their dog in probably every, you know, 8 to 12 weeks for grooming. But this cut, you know, that I do, I mean, I don't need to run a daily maintenance on the guy's coats as far as like grooming and stuff, combing and whatnot. Yet I'll go ahead and I'll get, you know, I'll shave them twice a year. And this coat lasts for a good long time. I'm going to go ahead and switch positions here because it looks like the light's kind of changing here in my backyard. All of a sudden, it was a gloomy day, and now all of a sudden the light's coming out and changing the angle on me. So anyways, let me, so what I do here is, first I start by shaving it. I'm going to show you how I started, and then I'm going to put it on pause and kind of cut the rest, and then, you know, come back and forth. So, because I don't want the video to be like, you know, 30 minutes long. So anyways, so you start right here at the neck, kind of like a collar, if you will. Right at the collar zone, if you will. And then I take the buzzer, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to start right around the buzzer, the back of the neck and ears area, and around, kind of create a collar. And she's, you know, she's really hairy, so she's well due for, you know, let me actually want to show you, kind of get you a close up on her face so you can kind of see her face too. Because one of the things you should really do with your doodle on a regular basis, see how their hair grows over their eyes like that. The more hair that grows over their eyes, what that's going to do is going to touch their eyes, and it's going to irritate the eye and cause it to weep. So then you're going to have wet eyes, and they're going to see, you know, kind of, a lot of people worry about, you know, if they have a white face, it's going to stain their face. Well, one of the things you can do to kind of mitigate that is to really, you know, do regular trimming around the eyes. And that's what's wonderful about the blunt scissors here, is that what you're going to do is you never cut, obviously, at the dog. You're going to cut upward like this. So see if you could see that. So I always cut like this. Okay, so that way if the dog flinched for any reason, it wouldn't actually flinch into the blade, because I'm like this. So it wouldn't even be able to flinch into the blade, let alone the tips of the blade. So then I'll come over here and I'll go this. Now I'm actually kind of jumping the gun here because I don't usually start with trimming the face. So let me step back for a second and do this how I normally do. So I start with the buzzer, and we're going to fire it up. We're going to show the dog. Let it hear it for a second. You know that it's there. It's just for the dog's comfort, you know. We want to make this easy on the dog as possible. I could probably use a new blade on mine. It's been a minute. It's just kind of like men and razor blades, you know. I mean, you got to replace them every once in a while, you know. Like, not too, you know, the rougher the cut, the more frequent you got to replace it. So what I like to do is I like to just start like this. If you'll see, is just kind of start down. It's almost like shearing a sheep, you know. And again, I start with the zero. I don't even use a guard, you know. I just go straight down. You know, now you can use a guard to get its hair a little bit longer, but the way I do it, you know, like I said, you got to cut it, you know, you just cut the dogs like a couple times a year, and that's it. You know, it's really low maintenance. And the dogs really love this in the summer too. They like the lower cut. Now initially they feel a little naked, you know, because they had all this hair in the winter, and then now they got nothing. But you're just going to kind of shave this around, and so you can kind of see how it starts to take shape there. You know, it starts to kind of wool down really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue all the way down the back, and then I'm going to save the legs for last. And then I'm also, as I I'm going to pause the video, but I'm going to come back over. Actually, no, I'm not going to pause it. I'm going to keep going around the neck. How about that? So what I do here, because this is kind of a part that's really interesting, people probably should know. So I lift the ear up over the top of the head. You'll see that. I put the ear up over the top of the head, and then I take the buzzer, and I go around the bottom of the neck first, kind of uncover that lower ear area so I know exactly where the ear is at, okay? And you'll see Star's a really good model. And then we're going to just kind of just drag it down. See if you can see that. We're just kind of dragging it down, just like that. And you'll see that's their ear. So you can see how it's nice and tight across the bridge there. Okay, that's what you're looking for. And then down here, you're going to go ahead and do the same thing down here. You're going to just kind of come down the neck, like so. Okay. And then you're going to go to this ear. You're going to flip this ear upward. And we're going to come right down to the bottom of the ear. We're going to come right down to the base of the ear. And then that's where we want to kind of make our travel around to the back to tie into where we got around the back, see? So if you'll see, I'll show you how this kind of comes together. So you just kind of keep coming down, right? And you come down, that's your ear. And you can just kind of see how it really starts to take shape now, okay? Like it's really coming off. Now y'all might think, some people might think, oh my gosh, the dog's gonna be totally bald. It's kind of gonna look totally different. You just wait. Wait till it comes together. So, and then from here, now that I've got the nice neck collar created, now I can start shearing it like a sheep, you know. So we kind of gonna bring her on down here, and we're gonna go all the way across the top to the back. And she's got more of a curlier coat, a little bit more of a curlier coat. Some of my doodles have that. Most of my doodles have a looser fleece coat. She has more of a curlier coat. It's not like a poodle curl, but it's definitely a tighter curl. So I would never actually be able to comb her hair out on a regular basis. This is really the only way you're going to maintain the dog's hair is through a buzzer. And that's why a lot of people, they have to go to the groomer. And, if you don't let your hair grow out as long, like if you would like to maintain the hair to be like an inch long or 2 inches long, well, just cut it more frequently. I do this twice a year, and it's that low maintenance. It is literally that low maintenance. Doodle's hairs, it's also, as far as bathing goes, a lot of people ask me how often should I bathe my doodle. Well, you should probably bathe your doodle every 3 months or on an as-need basis. 2 to 3 months maybe, It depends on how active you are with your doodle. It's really kind of individual basis. But you don't want to overwash your doodle. What you're going to do is you're going to dry their skin out. And that's going to create itchiness, and it's not good. It strips the oils out of their skin. The soaps that we like to use, we use Earthborn soap, which is it's like an all-natural product soap. We like to use stuff as much as all natural as we can. We eat organic. We try to give as much, we try to mimic our dogs' lives as much as we, how we live. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go ahead and put the video on pause, and I'm going to finish grooming here. So you can see how I've shaved her down here. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to go under the belly and frame out the legs. And then you're going to do the legs last. So I'm going to come back when I've framed everything out and ready to do the legs. Okay, so we've got her framed off now. Now what we're ready to do is, and I've even kind of cupped inward. You kind of cup inward to the belly when you're trimming the belly area. You want to kind of come downward and then into the belly like that. Downward and into the belly. Okay? So just like that, and you can kind of carry this across like that. So now what we're going to do is we're ready to do the legs here. So as you can see, her legs are still pretty woolly. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start with the back. And there's a lot more hair in the back because we got the tail as well. Okay, so you can see. Here we go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw the tail down a little bit here because it's across the back here. So we're going to draw the tail. We want to give I like to give about 2 to 3 fingers from the base down the tail. So I don't want the tail, because see, up here is where he poops. So I'm going to come, sorry honey, I didn't say that. So I'm going to come up here like this, and I'm going to go down, because you got to clean this area, folks. I mean, this is it's a drop zone. Let's face it. These dogs are on our couches and furniture and stuff. So we gotta, we can talk about it. We gotta make sure it's clean down there. So, so I like to keep the tail kind of right around, just a kind of little ring right around this area right here, about 3 inches up from the area, the drop zone, if you will. And then I'll leave the rest of the tail long and doodly, okay? And I will trim it up a little bit if there's any knots or whatever. See, this is the part that you'll comb, okay? So you could comb these parts. So the legs here. So now we're going to move on to the legs. Let's see if we can move you in a position where people can see there, honey. So then for the legs, we're going to just kind of draw down I like to start from the outer edge of the leg, the exterior of the leg, if you will. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of draw it down the side, all the way down the side, cut it into the middle a little bit here. So you're kind of going down the front portion of the dog's leg, your shin, for kind of a reference if that helps. And then we're just going to keep drawing it down here. Now this is the part that you're probably going to find that your dog likes the least. Dogs don't like their feet being messed with too much, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, they'll let you do it, you know. They'll be more comfortable with you doing it than they will be with the groomer. I can tell you that. And it really only takes me, this cut that I'm showing you guys, this takes me about 30 minutes to do. I bet you spend more than 15 minutes driving one way to the groomer. So after we've gone to the outside, then we're going to go back all the way down the inside like that. And we're going to draw it all the way down to the foot. If you could see that, see the foot. So we're going to, I like to leave a little puff at the end. So I'm going to draw it all the way down to almost the toenails. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. As much as I do like that, it is summer and we are having a lot of foxtails right now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just bring it all the way down. If you're active with your doodle, you like to go camping, hiking, you know, take it hunting or anything like that, it's probably best that you do keep their feet nice and short. That'll prevent foxtails and those hook weeds and stuff from getting in there. So after you've done the exterior and you've got it down, again, that's usually what I like to leave it like that because I think that's a little more doodly looking. Here, let me get that tuft of hair off there. So there it is. So you can kind of see it's got a little more doodle to the. In fact, you know, I think just because I'm doing a video for everybody, I'm going to leave it the way I like it best. Just because it looks cutest that way. And I can after the video, I can go back and scissor the rest of it off. So after you've achieved this part of the leg being nice and trim, you're going to go to the inside of the leg. Okay. So the best way to do that is you can take the tail, hold it in your thumb, finger, just like that. Okay. Take the leg and lift it up like that. And then you're going to go underneath the leg like this. Okay. And you're going to go like that. And this is one of the reasons why it's really important to have a good buzzer, folks. Because if you didn't have a good buzzer and a good blade on here, this is going to take a long time. The dog's not going to give you 2 hours to trim it. It's not going to do it. And at that, it doesn't, you know, it's not in love with the process regardless. So, I mean, it's just like a guy shaving. We don't want to go over the same spot 5 or 6 times. And if you don't have a good blade, you're going to end up just grinding and grinding and grinding and gouging at the dog. The blade's going to heat up. The dog doesn't love it. It's not good, you know. So, it's make the investment in a quality buzzer. And every 20 shaves or so, put a new blade on it. They're like $11. So I'm going to put it on pause and I'm going to finish framing off the legs. We're going to go ahead and do all the legs and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we do the face. Okay, so now we got her all framed off. As you can see, she's trimmed all the way across, all the way down the legs. She's got a little tiny, you can see a little tuft of hair on the end of each toe, and you know, her face still needs to be done. Also, she has a doodly tail, and she's getting a little tired at this point, but she's still being a really good girl about it. Anyways, so what I do from here is then I'm going to go ahead and go to some scissor work here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and trim the tuft of the feet here like this, and I'm just going to kind of frame around like this, just curve it around just like a toe, just kind of wrap it around like a toe, you know. Just a little U shape right across the front there, and you don't got much to work with. See that? Just like that. And then, you know, you want to go on the bottom side of the feet, and you want to make sure that this hair down here isn't past the pads, okay? Because that part will irritate your dog, and you'll see your dog might want to chew on their feet. Well, what they may be doing is they may actually be chewing the hair out in between their toes. So you just want to kind of feel inside there and just kind of take your fingers and knead inside each toe, spread it out, really get your feet, fingers way down in there, and really, pinch the webbing in there, just to make sure that there's no stickers or no knots or balls or anything that didn't get caught by the buzzer or your scissors, and so that way you can kind of scissor that out gently. So after that, so we're going to go ahead and just kind of frame this up a little bit like a little bit less tuft than that. So that's a completed paw. Now we're just going to go to the next paw real quick here. So this is the part that, I mean, we're just about done here. It really does not take that long to groom your dog. It really doesn't, you know. I mean, it might take a little bit more time the first couple of times because you're getting used to it. Your dog's getting used to it. You know, it takes a little while. And the better you get, the more efficient you're going to be, the faster you're going to get it done. And you know, the better your dog's going to be okay with it, you know. Some dogs don't love grooming, folks. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. Some dogs, they don't love grooming. And in that scenario, you might need a grooming table like what I have here. These grooming tables do come with an apparatus that your groomer probably uses. It's an apparatus that goes kind of attaches to one on each side here, and it's a little tree across the top, and it's got little ropes, if you will, that hang down like, you know, like little leashes, and you put the dog's neck in there, and you put the dog's body in there, so it holds their body and their neck up. I mean, when your dog gets used to being, you know, groomed, if it gets used to being groomed, and I mean, if you do this yourself, folks, believe me, it doesn't take much. Dogs would prefer their owners doing this kind of stuff than they would a stranger anyways. Let's just face it. So from here on the tail, I'm just going to kind of blend it in. And that's all I'm trying to do is just blend in this last little bits here. You know, you'll see that. Just kind of going to go to this side and just blend that off a little bit there. I don't want it to be too out of shape. You know, just one big plume right at the end there. So you can kind of see how that turned out now. Yeah. And then we're going to go over to the ears. Now, the ears we're going to start with. So inside the ears, and I did a video recently about ear maintenance. You're gonna open up the ears, and you want to, you know, pull any hair out that you could see in there. It just if you just get the canal open. I mean, these guys, it doesn't hurt them to pull the hair out. See, get the hair out. I mean, you just pull it right on out of there. And then what I like to do is I like to start with the buzzer though, and I like to do the insides of the ears because I don't want to have a bunch of hair right growing into the ear. So what I'm going to do here is turn this way, honey. Is I'm gonna, if you can see the canal. So I'm going to just go inward towards the face because what I just want to do is I just want to clear the canal area. Now you can scissor this if you like to. Some dogs prefer it to be scissored. I think she might prefer it at this point. She's probably tired of the buzzer. It's okay. It's okay. So, and again, these kinds of areas your dog isn't going to love having, you know, being messed with too much. So the ear areas. So because he's really sensitive. So it's okay, honey. So it's okay. So we're just going to kind of, here, let me, for the video, okay. I love you too. I know, she doesn't love the ear, Jim. So what we're doing here is she's not really letting you see it very well, so let me kind of turn her to this direction, is that we're just trying to, see there's a lot of long hair right across here into the flap. So we just want to kind of draw that downward. This blade might be a little warm, actually. She may not be loving that either. And, so you just want to kind of draw that downward a little bit. So now you can see just making a quick couple little things here, adjustments. I mean, you can see how much you can see the canal now. And that's good. So you can see how it's really big ledge across here. We want to blend that out, you know. So same thing with the ears. We want to blend the ears out as well. So it's okay, honey. So we're almost done, baby. Almost. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my hand as kind of a guide, a scissors, and you just kind of, just like the lady or guy that's always been cutting your hair does for you, you know, and they're trimming across the hair, just kind of using my index finger and my middle finger is kind of a guide for the length that I want to kind of create across the top. Obviously, I want it to be significantly shorter than what it was because I want it to. I mean, she's bald now. I'm not totally bald, but she's really short hair. So I want to make sure that it looks, you know, looks consistent. So turn around here, honey. There we go. And then so we're going to kind of blend that out. And then I'm going to bring this across the back here like so. Can everybody see that? Yeah. And so we're just kind of creating a little, just like I said, it's like your own hairstylist or barber does for you, you know? I mean, when you're only dealing with this part of the hair, it doesn't, you know, you can spend a little extra time making it however you need or however you like or trying not to mess it up or, you know, whatever. But you can see now it's kind of blending in. And then what we're going to do is go turn around here, anybody. So once you start to kind of blend it off, so now it'll start to kind of take its shape. You can see it's not abnormally shaggy across the head now. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to kind of frame off the front. So we're going to just kind of, I like to hold their nose when I do this to keep them from flinching and to keep their head flat. So go like this. And all I'm doing is just putting my hand underneath here and pushing down on the nose so I could kind of create that little shelf right there across the top. And then right here across the eyes, we want to go ahead and do the eyes right across the bridge like that. Okay, really clear them out. And again, this will help cut down on the weeping. And then see, we got a little bit of weep right here that gets hidden in there. You don't even see that kind of stuff when it gets really curly up there. So I'm going to just kind of frame it off because I don't want this hair coming up across the top like that. So I'm just going to kind of just trim this just a little bit, right? Just a little bit across the top of the nose, like just like that. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the bridge of the nose going up to the eyes clear as well. Doesn't have to be totally flat, but I want to keep it somewhat clear. So then we're going to frame off, we're going to blend off the bottom here. So we're going to lift her up, and we're just going to follow her jawline upward, just like that. Now, obviously, not everybody's pet is going to be as used to doing this or as okay with doing this kind of stuff as this one is. This is not her first rodeo. She's had plenty of groomings here. So you can really kind of start to see how she's kind of taking place here. So she's, you know, let's see, sit back, honey. It's okay. It's okay. So we're going to go ahead and just want to carry this little spot just a little bit better. Just a little bit better, honey. On your lips right there. Just like I said, it's really not hard, folks, to do this. It really is not. And your dog, you know, it will appreciate the effort that you're making for it. And we're gonna just kind of giving a couple extra trims right here around the ear area, just to kind of keep the front portion of the hair from growing backward towards the ear. So we've already addressed the inner ear hair going forward. Now we should address the front hair coming backwards. And then from there, we're going to fold the ear back, and we're just going to go ahead and create a little framing of the ear. We're going to take this down a couple inches because their hair gets really long. They actually don't have that long of ears. It's just a hair. I'm just going to kind of frame it out nice and round. Is everybody seeing that? Okay. Again, you don't have to hurry to do this. You know, you can take your time. It's not a race. I'm not like in any hurry to do it myself. Like I said, usually it takes me about 25-30 minutes to groom a dog. You know, take your time. Take your time. The dog's not in any hurry, and you know, the more time you give it, it's kind of like time out for kids, you know, or breaks for kids when they're doing their homework. You know, you can give them a little break now and again, if they need it, if they just really don't want to deal with that right at the moment. Because as much as you do want them to get used to it, you don't want them to have a traumatic experience while you're doing it, you know, so that they actually hate it every time, you know. I'm not a big biscuit guy. I don't get the biscuits out and reward them just because they did exactly what I asked them to do every time, you know. I give my dogs lots of treats for lots of reasons, but, you know, come sit, not always one of those things that you need to get a treat over. Being a good girl, so after she's done with her grooming, she gets a treat for sure. Of course she does. She's probably going to get a couple of them. I love you too. She's a good girl. So you can kind of see her hair's coming in now. We're just going to kind of address some of the higher spots. Get rid of some of those higher spots. Just a little touch up now at this point. So we've addressed going over the ears. Okay. Actually, I need to do this inner right across. See right there. We got to get that little tuft right there. That opens up this hair from coming across here. And then we're going to go ahead and, you don't always have to use, if your dog doesn't want you to use a buzzer on their inner ear, just go ahead and take your finger and lift up that inner ear hair across the flap here. Okay. So we're going to give you a second technique. So flip it up, you know, kind of like you would do if you're trimming like your eyebrow or something. And then you can do it that way. Oh, that's okay, honey. I'm sorry. They don't like it when you get closer to their ear. I know, honey. I know. I didn't get you, and I'm not gonna. I know. but I was trying to get as close to inside her ear because she was being so good. I was trying to get inside there close. Just when you think, so, don't push it. Don't get your scissors too close to their eyes. Don't get it too close to the ear canal because they can flinch. Even though they seem like everything's going well and everything, they could still flinch. They could still get bothered by something. They could get startled by any number of things, noises or whatever, just for any reason. They're going through a situation here, and it's like, all of a sudden they hear noise. They may not react the same as they always do. So, anyways, little flinches to be expected from time to time. So, we are officially done with this girl's haircut, and this is a doodle cut, folks. So she's nice and flat across here. She's got a little doodle to her tail. She's got a little doodle to her feet and her hair in the front of her face. Here, come on, see if I can show it off there. So you can see now that her hair, her face kind of, it matches, it's not long, it's not short. She's still got good long length through her hair, still looks doodly. And, this is just nice and ready for summer. She's going to have a wonderful summer, nice. And now it's time for a bath. Yeah, after you give them a cut, you're going to give them a bath. You want to get all that any dander that's caught up in there or whatnot, get it off of there. And, but, so you could see, just comparatively, let me just bring her in a little bit closer so you can see her face. So you can see, this is still a doodle. That's still Twinkle Star. Yeah, say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. So, this is a doodle cut. This is how I like to do it. Everybody's, got an opinion, so personal preference. Comment if you like or if you have anything to say about it. And again, give us a like and a follow. Again, Story Tails Labradoodle. We're going to be doing a series of dog maintenance videos throughout the summer. So, like I said, give us a follow, and we hope that we can provide good health and to your dogs and help you maintain them a little easier for you and more economical. Take care.